Hi friends, thank you for watching and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about procrastinating and go over some ideas to break that pattern and get more done. We all know what procrastination is. We have things we need to do, but we are taking our sweet little time fiddling with a bunch of different things that have nothing to do with that work. So we watch videos, we read blogs, we check social media. I am totally guilty of this and I have an attention deficit. So trying to keep it all together and take that plunge into doing something is quite challenging. I can absolutely relate to anybody who is also procrastinating, but just because we're all in this together, it doesn't make it a good thing. It's a bad habit that is keeping us away from achieving great results. So let's get into the topic. Stay tuned through the end of the video to see what else I have for you to help you on this journey, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. First tip I recommend is to wake up early. I personally don't know if there is any reasonable scientific basis explaining why waking up earlier makes us so much more productive. I honestly don't know if it's a psychological thing. I just know that successful people are early risers, and I also know this to be true for myself. If I'm up when the rest of the world around me is still sleeping, I feel deeply motivated to stay ahead of the game. My focus is more elevated, productivity is increased, and I'm not quite procrastinating as much. Second tip is to create a to-do list, of course, but why don't we take that list to the next level, shall we? First, list everything big and small. It doesn't matter, list it all. Any to-dos that are a little bit more complex, break into separate tasks, which you can then distribute throughout the day or throughout the week, depending on the size of the project. We won't really get overwhelmed if we do that, and the odds of successfully accomplishing the task are much higher. Now, as you plan out your day or your week with the different tasks, prioritize them as follows: have-tos, must-dos, and should-dos, in that order. The have-tos will take priority, so they will need to be the tasks you will work on first. The good news is that since we have a limited supply of willpower in the day, getting the more important things done first, which usually tend to be the things we dread doing anyway, those things will ride the wave of energy in the early part of the day. The later in the day that it gets, the more our internal resources and willpower will fizzle out, so it will be harder and harder to do the big work. Doing those hard things first in the day while fresh is the key. Next, add time frames to each item from the to-do list. For example, if you need to research a product, let's say, rather than writing down product research, write down product research till 9:15 a.m. or whatever time. This will organize your day and break down tasks far more efficiently. And here's another idea. If you try this to-do list and you really try it, but you realize that you're still not motivated enough to push through, try to do a list that includes only the items you would normally be avoiding. If you have your own business, let's say, as an example, and you love being creative, you love coming up with ideas, but you drag doing the research side of things and the slides and the invoicing, and you're procrastinating on doing those things because you don't like them, assign a day of the week where the only items on your to-do list are the ones you've been avoiding the most. Set those timelines, and to power through the day, follow the next steps in this video and basically see if that works better for you. A key element in making this happen, in pushing through procrastination, is to have an organized space. If you have a messy space, you will feel disorganized and lethargic, whereas if you're in a tidy, organized environment, you will feel more inspired to get things done. So put things away at the end of every day or every 2 days to encourage the feeling of an inviting workplace. Next tip is to eliminate temptations. Many of us get distracted by little noises and lights and digital devices, so we have to pull away. And ironically, the best way to avoid getting distracted by technology is by employing it. I mentioned antisocial in a previous video I made about working from home. I will link it today again in the description for you, but basically another tool I recently discovered is called RescueTime, and what it does is it tracks your online movements and then gives you an easy-to-read breakdown of how you've been spending your time, and honestly, that will be a reality check for many of us. I will link these tools and a couple of other ones that can help keep distractions at bay, so hopefully you'll find something that works for you. Now, in addition to these tools, I also recommend keeping a notebook handy, and you will write in it every thought that pops into your mind while you're doing your work. These kinds of thoughts can distract us and move us away from what we are supposed to be doing. Most of the times that happens because we don't want to forget them. We don't want to forget those new ideas or thoughts. So we're going to stop doing what we're doing to cater to them. Avoid having to do that by keeping a notebook handy. Write down the thought and then continue doing your work. And you can tend to that thought after you've done what you needed to do. And basically that will help keep you from procrastinating. A while ago, I also talked about 2 different techniques that will help you organize the work time to be most productive. That video will be in the description as well if you're interested, but here is another trick that is truly the easiest possible thing you can try. So set a timer for 10 minutes, during which time you must commit to working uninterrupted and without any distractions. In reality, anybody can do that for 10 minutes. So when you feel like you're procrastinating, tell yourself, all right, I'm gonna do this for 10 minutes. You can either find yourself slipping into the work groove and you can work longer from there, and honestly, it's a high likelihood of that happening, or the timer goes off and you're not feeling it, in which case, that's okay. Worst case scenario is that you got 10 minutes of solid work done as opposed to none. Tip number, honestly, I don't even know, I lost track. The next tip is to not be a perfectionist. There's a time and a place for perfectionism, but you have to know when it's starting to hold you back. The pursuit of perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons for procrastination, waiting for that perfect timing, waiting for the best paper to print on, not starting a project without the best outline, or not stopping work on a project until it's perfectly perfect, which of course leads to redundant work and such. That quest for perfection keeps you procrastinating. Next, it won't be a bad idea for you to bargain with yourself as means to get started on what you need to do. For example, you can agree that if you finish the tasks deemed most important on your list today, you will go out to dinner tonight, or you will do something that you really enjoy or love doing. That incentive alone works great for many people. It's also a good idea to write down under each task on that to-do list how your life will be positively impacted by you achieving it. Will that take you closer to a goal? Will you feel proud of what you did, feel good about yourself, and help your self-esteem? Will you accomplish something that's part of a greater plan? Seeing that written down can be a very effective way to encourage yourself to stop procrastinating. It may not be a bad thing to come up with a consequence to not doing what you had on your list as well. So for example, if you don't complete your task, you will have to do something else today that you may not particularly enjoy. That could mean not checking your social media until the next day, or going to that cycling class you're dreading, doing laundry, or something else, whatever that may be, but it has to be something you really don't enjoy doing as a form of consequence to procrastinating. For the chronic procrastinator, I recommend putting money on the line. You can give a friend, spouse, child, or whomever you trust with your money a certain amount to hold on to. And the deal is that if you don't accomplish all the items you set out to do, that person can spend the money any which way they want. To many of us, hanging on to our hard-earned money can be compelling enough to stop procrastinating. But even if you end up giving that money away the first time, the second time, by the third time, you will really start feeling the burn, and that will motivate you. Trust me on that. Now, to help keep you going throughout the day, I recommend 2 things. First is to change your work environment. If you have a harder time focusing at your desk, or if you were focused but you're noticing that you're starting to lose some of that focus, try moving to a different part of the room or the office. You can take your papers, take your laptop, and change the location. Mentally, that can help re-inspire you and give you new energy. The second thing I recommend is to restart your day at 2 p.m. Not long after having lunch, our energy and focus will start fizzling away. So taking 10 minutes to do some things to restart your day will be a huge asset. You could look at it as your second morning of the day. You could put a little cold water on your face. You could fix your hair, reapply your makeup or lipstick, get a fresh cup of coffee in a new mug, get some fresh air, take a look at what needs to be accomplished, and reevaluate your work. Whatever works best for you, do that around the 2 p.m. mark, and that should kickstart your day again so you can bring fresh energy to the table. Another tip that can work is to make your intentions public. The positive pressure of letting some of your friends or network know what you would like to accomplish can definitely add some motivation, because now you are held accountable not only by yourself but by other people as well. And honestly, the desire to avoid potential embarrassment will be highly motivating. This of course depends on the person, but I think it's definitely worth a try. One thing we have to remember is that procrastination is not best fought in the moment but throughout time. The habits we employ on a daily basis, including the weekends, is what will create that sense of self that will push you when you actually need it. So look at adopting a disciplined behavior outside of work as well, like being on time to things, keeping your promises, and hanging out more with people who inspire you to take action. That could mean finding people like that in your physical life as well as through entertainment. If you get into the habit of watching documentaries about successful people on a consistent basis, that will help influence your behavior and help motivate you. Documentaries, videos like this one, blogs, any form of new media really works, and you will feel more inspired more often than not. Right now I'm working on a spreadsheet for you that you can print out and use on a daily basis for all of your to-dos. It will include a lot of the elements that we went over today, so I really believe that will be a huge resource for you. I will email that to my email family either late Friday or Saturday. Regardless, it will go out over the next 48 hours, so I hope you're set up to get it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it or if you learned something new, and subscribe to my channel. May good luck and fortune follow you everywhere you go, today and every day. I love you for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again in a few days in a new video. Bye!